Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Headbang. I was checking earlier. I think this is episode number 16. I mean, time definitely flies when you're having fun. Uh, Want to go over a few quick things before we bring our guest on. Obviously it's scrolling across the bottom of the page, so we know who it is, so it's not going to be a big surprise, and kind of excited to have these guys on. Love the guys. They're great guys. Just love having them on. And even though we kind of things fell through and we haven't had them at the Bottle House yet this year, I promise in the future they will be back to the Bottle House. So anyway, so at the Bottle House this weekend on Friday night, we have Sobriety X. We all know it's a party when Sobriety X shows up. It's the first stage of the Geritol tour. Yeah, anyway, guys, be there. And then Saturday night, we have a new band hitting the stage. Saturday night, we have Alter Ego. Heard great things about them. Think you guys are going to enjoy them. Now, with that being said, let me pop in here our special guest. Let me get this over here. We'll start off. We're going to bring Juan in. What's up, Juan? We're going to plop Jose in here, and last and certainly not least, the vocal demon, the god on the microphone, Yoshi. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
How you doing, man? Thanks, guys, for doing this. I appreciate it.
What is that? Is that a toy, man?
We had a break, and now we have one looking like a homeless person over there.
Yep.
Yeah, it is kind of time, shave that stuff up there a little bit there.
This is what happens when we don't play for a month.
Oh no, I saw you last weekend. You were all clean cut and everything. Or was it last weekend or the weekend before? Quite honestly, time it's starting to all blur together right now.
Yeah. The way you're a natural. I like that intro, man. You own this.
Oh no, dude. I suck. I tell everybody I have no clue. I have no clue what I'm doing. I just get on here and wing it. Like I told you guys, there's no scripting or anything. We just get on here. It's four guys shooting the bull.
Nah, you do.
We talk, man. And you know what? I think the viewers actually appreciate it that way.
No, I was going to say that I've seen that
real
the effort that you push forward since we're handed this down.
Are we here?
Yeah.
Was I handed or was it thrown at me?
Yeah. But I've seen all the things you're doing. That's a good thing for the community.
Boy.
Yoshi,
I think Jochi's having some issues there.
Yeah, he's freezing up a little bit. He'll get it. It'll come on there in a minute. Besides, we get to hear Yoshi talk all the time.
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yep, you're here.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right.
Got your audio. Your video is locking up a little bit. There you are. You're back.
Man, you need to get off by a month. Get off by a month.
Yeah.
Burner phone internet.
So you guys are busy. You guys are busy as hell. I still remember your first trip into the Bottle House. What's it been? 2.5 years ago?
I think 2.5 around there.
Yeah,
I'd say right around 2.5 years.
We're gonna be 3 years this May together. So that's a big.
And that from coming from somebody that's done this and has been in multiple bands, that means a lot. Truthfully, there's not a whole hell of a lot of bands that stick around more than a year or two. There's always infighting and so on and so forth. And obviously, you've had a few lineup changes, but nothing major. I mean, the core of the band is still there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you three guys are still the core, and you're still there. So you have some changes, but not bad changes. With every change, there's always a how do you put it? There's always good things that come with change. You are.
We are blessed to have the band members that we have right now. So we're good.
And when I say you're blessed, I mean because you're talented. You guys seem like get along. You have fun on stage. You're family guys. I mean, obviously it's hard to bring family in, young kids to the Bottle House. But when I see you other places, you've always got your family there, your kids, and you just enjoy having your family around. And I know that means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to. Well, I know it means a lot to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure it means a lot to your fans when they see that.
Yeah. Well, Yoshi's daughter performs with us every time she's there.
I know.
That's a hit.
I've been there. I'm not at the Bottle House every single solitary night. Occasionally I get out.
She does better than Jochi, I think.
Yeah. That's usually it's our gimmick to get everyone to the front.
It works.
Yeah, that's the only way that people get engaged.
Yeah, right. I'm going to call BS on that one. Yeah, that's the only way they get up there.
Yeah, I think you started at Salted Shamrock, didn't you?
I saw you at Salty's. I've seen you a couple different places.
Yeah. I remember Baba at Salty Shamrock a couple times.
Yep. We I think the first time you played at Salty's, we came down there, and me, Bubba, and I think Brian, we all came down to see you guys.
Yeah.
A nice hot summer day. Which, pretty much that's 360 days a year in Florida.
Yeah, they switched the stage now. It's not like directly under the sun anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I remember when who was it? Zebron and James are playing there, and Ronnie's a good friend of mine, and he was up there, and the sun was just beating on him. That afternoon sunset, and he's like, "Man," I said, "Yeah, why do you have the stage there? Turn a little bit so you're not roasting the guys."
It's fixed now. But we've had our cold shows too. There were some this winter that we had to wear jackets.
Oh yeah,
we're outdoors.
Well,
you know,
hey, to me, anything below 70 is cold.
Hey,
I admit it.
you're one
I
of
got piss in my
mine.
blood. I got piss in my blood. I'm thinking about moving farther south. Yeah, before I moved here, I was in Arizona for 11 years. Although I was at 5,000 feet when I lived in Arizona, and we got cold.
Oh, okay.
And my family's all from the Maryland, Virginia, that area, and trust me, it gets cold as hell there in the winter. It's that high humidity, damp cold, and I hate it. Hate it. Always hated it. I'm definitely a warm weather person.
Yeah, we can. We're from Puerto Rico, so.
Oh yeah. It doesn't get too cold there.
Yeah.
Have you anybody seen snow yet?
Yeah, I lived in Connecticut for
okay.
like 8 years.
Yep. So you saw snow. Oh yeah.
I did 25 years in the Army, so I saw plenty.
Yeah. You saw plenty. Yeah, I used to back in the day when I was in Maryland. We had to push snow, and that sucks.
Although I didn't see snow until I was an adult already.
Yeah. I grew up in it. Yeah. So the Headbang, the famous Headbang. Tell everybody how you guys got started, how this all came about.
I'm gonna let Jochi talk about that. But before he explained, like Jochi and myself, we know each other since middle school.
Mm-hmm.
We went to middle, high school, and college together in Puerto Rico. So, I was living in Florida for about 6 years at that point, and Jochi was in Connecticut. He moved to Florida, and then we started talking about music. Because we used to have like a Spanish rock band in Puerto Rico, so we kind of like want to do something here in Florida. So, and then we start talking, and and here we are. So, but I'm gonna let Jochi talk about that. So,
go, my friend. It's on you.
Hey, so I was sick of the cold in Connecticut, and Jose moved to where was it? Coral Springs, and
Coral Springs, Florida. Yeah.
He over the summer he found a job in Tampa, and he asked me to come help him move. So when we got to Tampa, I kind of fell in love with the area, and I decided to move. Jose opened the doors of his house for me to help me out, and after that, when everything got settled and we started talking about music again, and obviously there's a lot of chemistry between us, not only as friends but musicians, talking like a musician. um so we started looking, and Jose is a very determined person, and he found Sergio then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where was it? It was not the app for musicians, was it?
No, it wasn't Bandmix. I think it was. Bandmix. I'm not sure. Maybe Facebook, but I saw Sergio like with the heavy metal hair stuff. Like, maybe that's the guy. So we start with Sergio. One replaced Sergio like a year and a half ago, but Sergio was the
2 years next month.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead.
So after that, I mean, I got this little closed garage in my house, so we had a place to practice. And along came Christian, and everything happened. It was a good deal, but then Christian ended up having to leave because he had other things that he wanted to do. And Craig came along, and he has been a great addition to our band. He helps me vocally a lot too, which
Well,
we
need
were
that token.
lacking a little.
You need the token white boy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's infinitely talented.
He is a good guitar player.
A lot of perseverance. Jose knocked on everybody's door, and he got us in the door, and the rest is history. We've been at it, and all we do is play music and have fun. So I think this is gonna be here for a while.
I think so. And like I said, you definitely involve your family. In fact, there's a new father in the band, a fairly new father. Yeah, that's why he's looking all scruffy and hasn't shaved. He's a new daddy
Not
now,
me.
so yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
You saw my baby earlier.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, like I said, you guys you have your family there, and I think it's a great thing. In fact, your father was it your father Yoshi that used to come?
He's been there.
No, not to the
Not
bottom
to the
house.
bottom house. No.
I
No.
thought I don't know. Like I said, things blurred. Maybe it could have been Salty's. I
But
saw
he
him,
was at
which
Salty
Yeah,
that one time.
Salty,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably there.
Yeah.
Obviously everything kind of blends together. And let's face it, I'm not quite as young as you guys, so my memory's kind of like my hairline. It's receding every day. But yeah, you guys have done great for yourself. You've really picked up a following around here.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
booked out. You got a packed house everywhere you play.
Yeah, it's been.
And we are really grateful for that. And we never take it for granted.
Well, I think a lot of that comes across. You guys on stage, you actually enjoy what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed you're constantly trying to improve upon what you're doing too. You just haven't become lackadaisical with it. Just this is what we do. Here's our song list.
There's always something we want to get better into something.
Yeah,
It's,
whether it be
absolutely.
branding, photos, we're always looking for.
Yeah, one is the man and that thing like pictures, social media, videos, so
artwork.
since,
That's
yeah.
like
Since once joins the band, like he also like help not just in the bass, like he's great doing that other extra things. Like, and I believe that helps the band a lot. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it helps the venues as well.
Yeah, I have fun with it. I was a professional music photographer for a good 10 years.
Well,
So before I got back into playing music, and it's
on your nights off, which you don't have many of, you should be in there taking photos for me.
Yeah, I could, but the thing is, I still have a full-time job, and
I know. Yeah, we
I'm in
all
two
do.
bands, as you know, but I like to, and I don't want that part to become a job. I do it mostly as a hobby because that way it stays fun. The second you involve money and it starts feeling like a job, so it's self-fulfilling. Especially I do it for my bands, and I like to do that kind of stuff, and it's fun, and it remains fun that way. So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Back in my days of playing, and I started playing in, I'm giving away my age. I want to say I started playing out live in '83 or '84. Yeah, that's like last century. And I did it up until '97. But quite honestly, there was a time there where it became a job.
No.
It got to the point where it just wasn't fun anymore. It was a job.
You need to post some videos.
We didn't have all this fancy stuff back in those days.
Yeah,
we didn't have cell phones and all that stuff.
No, but I mean, right, like these days, I mean, like maybe just you jamming on your house, doing some crazy songs or whatever.
You want to look? The last time I picked up my guitar, I mean, obviously between the Bottle House, my job, and also it's not just the Bottle House just isn't on the weekends. There's also obviously the booking, the social media. It's a lot of time. I haven't picked up my guitar in a month. I was just thinking that the other day. It's kind of killing me. Yeah, I look over there. I'm in my studio now, and I got my guitars all hanging over there. I haven't plugged my amps. Of course, I don't really use my amps anymore. I'm using a Helix now. I just run through that.
No.
And I'm thinking all this stuff's sitting here collecting dust. I gotta put it to work somehow or another. Just for myself. And people actually ask me all the time, well, why'd you quit playing? I said, well, you never quit playing. When you play, you never quit playing. Just because I'm not out playing live doesn't mean I've quit playing.
No.
I'm on the other side of the microphone now, basically. I'm doing this instead. Which, for me, servicing the band, servicing you guys, trying to get the word out on all the local bands. To me, that's more important than me getting up on a stage and making a fool out of myself. Because I'm not near the guitar player I was 30 years ago. Trust me, not near the guitar player. This stuff, arthritis and all that good stuff starts to kick in a little bit. So maybe that's another reason I don't play. I get frustrated with my playing now.
That's my life.
But like I said, a musician never stops being a musician.
And my bandmates, like, they get frustrated with my playing.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Trust me, I've seen you playing in a couple of different bands, and let's just say you hold your own very well.
Okay.
All you guys do.
Yeah.
All you guys do. So what's coming up soon with the Headbang? What do you guys have coming up?
This Saturday, we're at Whiskey Wings Oldsmar. New venue for this band. First time, so we're looking forward to it.
Good.
Kind of like Jose and Yoshi's sort of backyard. So
Yeah.
it's in their area.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, that's when coworkers show up and the nerves get a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's all right. They can deal with it.
Yeah. No, they,
They
they,
can deal
they,
with it. You
they,
got to
they
deal with
handle
it
their
when you're
own.
down here.
That's
They,
crazy because I'm a school teacher. Uh, and this morning, my principal, my boss, she sent an email to the staff like, "Hey, Coach Reyes have a rock and roll band. They play the '80s, blah blah blah." She invited the entire staff. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
But
Because
you know what?
you
That's a
know,
great. That's
we're
great.
gonna
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna
awesome.
Yeah.
You can
yeah,
get
and
that.
it's just like Juan told me this morning, this is your time to show up. But I'm like,
Yeah, it's not the time to be nervous. It's the time to show off.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we're gonna wear those spandex and
You know how we
yeah,
do.
Well, maybe there they won't stick you behind a glass shield too.
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good thing. I'm just
Although it does
Yeah,
help,
playing the drums. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There's
You.
no way. There's no way to hide ours.
That's right.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Jose's not that bad anyway. So.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I see a lot, you're talking about support. Being at the Bottle House every weekend, I see a lot of musicians coming in supporting other bands, and I think that's a fantastic thing. That's just phenomenal. I know, Juan. Of course, you're close. You're close by. You come in there quite a bit. It's easier for you. I mean, the other guys it's kind of a hump to get down here, but it's great when I see other musicians come in supporting their. I mean, not just their bandmates. You just don't come to see your bandmates. You come to see other bands.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Other musicians, and that's a great thing.
It's we I can confidently speak for the guys. We live by that. We try to. You never know what you're going to need.
Exactly.
And when you get out there, you realize that the circle is actually smaller than it seems.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And although this market that we play in has different tiers,
Right.
but everybody knows everybody, and you just got to be nice to people. You got to be a good team player because you never know when your snare is going to break in the middle of a show, and you got to call who's close by and borrow one, or you never know when someone's going to get sick and you need someone to fill in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it happens all the time. This is common, and unfortunately, not everyone sees it that way. And there's some people out there that don't want to do that, and that's okay. They find a way out in due time.
To each their own.
Yeah. So, but the majority, the community is strong, so we like to serve that, and we like to get out there and when we can and support people and then it comes right back, and it's a beautiful thing. So.
Well, it's also supporting the venues because let's face it, without the venues, I was actually on the phone with a guy from another band earlier this evening, and we were talking about this when we started this podcast. And I don't know if you watched the interview with Russ and I. We both have the same opinion, the same theory. We're not doing just to support the Bottle House and our bands. We're doing it to support the local music industry in general.
Mm-hmm.
And if that even means other venues, because let's face it, if those venues dry up, then the bands dry up. If you guys only have one or two places to play, well, guess what? You're going to quit playing. So we think it's important to support those other venues, support the musicians. I've always told everybody, if I had a choice between going to a large concert and coming to a local venue supporting a local band, I'd go support the local band because, I was there. I know what it's like. And, when you guys are upstage and the people are there and they're getting into it, that's just an endorphin you guys feed off of. So, I always tell the fans, come out and support these guys, between sets, not when they're on stage. Go up and pat them on the back and say, thank you. We appreciate it. Because let's face it, as a musician, you're not getting rich doing this, playing in local venues. You're just not. I mean, that's the sad reality of it. When you guys do it, you do it because you enjoy it. You love music. And like I said, can you do this and retire playing in a local cover band? Not unless you've learned something I never learned. Because, it's just there's a certain amount of money in it and that's it. And us as we're a fairly small venue. Obviously, we can't afford to pay a ton of money out for a band, because you have to look at the amount of people that we can get in there. And, to support some of these big name bands, we have to make quite a bit of money off of each patron that comes through that door just support the band.
I say, Dwayne, there's some things there, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, absolutely.
When you're a new band, a venue like you or like yours is essential because while you're establishing that network, you don't know which sound guys, sound guys don't know you, and a venue like yours affords the opportunity for a brand new band to just walk in and you have quality sound. You have one of the best. You know, Rick
We
is
do.
amazing. You know,
We
and
do.
everyone knows that.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He's great. Shout out to Rick. You have a very nice lighting setup. So if someone's
Mhm.
trying to shoot that early promo video and get some decent looking photos, you know, your venue is ideal for that because you provide all that. Because I remember in the beginning, you know, when Jose and I met, we're trying like he was feeding me sound guy numbers and stuff because you don't know,
Yeah.
you know, and
Exactly.
at least in safely for a new band, you know, a place like yours is good because you don't have to worry about all that other stuff.
Well,
You know,
and we've tried to step up the game with the video production as well.
Mhm.
I mean, though you ever saw, I've got multiple cameras I'm running, multiple views. I'm trying to give, and like I tell all the bands, this is for you guys. Use it. You know, if you can use these videos, definitely take it, chop it up, do whatever you need to with it. It's public domain. Just use what you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another thing I say, you know, your staff, they're awesome. They're very
Oh, yeah.
personal. You know, I know most of your bartenders by name. Shout out to Kim. You know, she's cool. You know, but the thing is, you don't get that everywhere. You know,
No, and I tout those. I tout them all the time. We do have a fantastic staff. I mean, they're rock stars.
you know,
They don't complain. They bust their ass to take care of everybody. You know, we have one person on the floor typically, and they bust their
yeah,
ass
they're
running
always
around that
checking.
place.
So yeah, that doesn't. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to say that doesn't go unnoticed. You know.
Yeah, man. On behalf of them, I appreciate it, and I'm sure they do too. And obviously, I hope they watch this thing. They'll catch, and they'll catch it as well. But yeah, we definitely appreciate that. But yeah, we do have a great staff, and actually, we got a great owner. I mean, he's kind of nobody ever sees him, but without Russ, there is no Bottle House.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest. Without his support, there is no Bottle House.
Mhm.
And yeah, just good people. And we've got some great bands that come through there and great people.
Oh,
Like I tell everybody, I'm fortunate. 98% of the musicians that come through there, I consider friends. It's not just a band that's playing and they're working for us. I consider them friends. And that's one of the reasons why we were talking earlier. One of the reasons why I stay till closing. I want to be the last one up there shaking your hand saying, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I do. I appreciate every band that hits the stage. Because, being a former musician, I know what it's like.
mhm.
Trust me, you're tired. By the end of the night, you're exhausted. And, unfortunately, we're open till, bands are playing till 2:00 in the morning. And if you're like me, around 1:00 or so, you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to wear out. Especially that guy sitting back behind that big screen. He's back there working his tail off all night.
Mhm.
Hey, we're
Oh
talking
my
about you,
gosh.
Jose.
It's like cardio. Yeah, we're doing
I know.
cardio back there.
Never, very rarely do you see a big drummer. You guys work your tail off. And, I guess I'm an aggravated drummer. I never could play drums. I can't get my feet and hands working together unless I'm stepping on pedals, and I can do that all night long. But yeah, I guess I'm somewhat of a frustrated drummer. So I appreciate it. And I'm definitely a frustrated singer. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. The people that have to listen to me are frustrated when I try to sing. So yeah, Dwayne is not a vocalist, by the way. In fact, I hate these things. I'm scared of microphones. They scare me. I don't even want to be near one. And now look what I'm doing.
I'm the same way. I'm
Yeah.
scared of microphones. So
You got one. Yeah, but you got one back there with you.
yeah, just
I'm not
Well,
scared of it.
back
Yeah, you're kind of
vocals.
doing double and triple duty, and yeah, you're back there working your butt off. What's Yoshi got to do? Get up and grab a microphone and sing. Actually, I shouldn't say that because you do play guitar quite a bit as well. And yeah, you don't just stand still and just you're moving
Yeah.
around.
And there's a
Okay.
lot of behind the scenes work being done.
Juan taught me some chords so I could play along with them.
Yeah,
That was-
Yoshi's everywhere. He's always like moving around. Well, we
Absolutely.
all, I would like to go in front and move too, but I'm back there. But these guys are always moving side to side. That's something we like. That's
Yep.
probably what I like to play in this band. The energy.
Yeah.
They all play with passion and energy. So it's something like we really enjoy doing it. So
Yeah, you guys are
I
definitely energetic band.
I don't worry about nothing else but to enjoying that moment. In enjoying that moment is me being hyper like that, and it so happens that I don't know, it works.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
and
contagious too.
and I will tell you, enjoy these moments because there's going to come a day where either you don't want to do it as much, the availability isn't there to do it as much, so just enjoy it.
Mhm.
Enjoy the ride. In fact, I'm going to tell a little secret. I won't go into the details, but it was I'd say about a year and a half ago. You were on stage, Mr. Yosh. You just had surgery. We won't go into the surgery for what, but I tell you what, for just coming off of that, and I know you were in pain. We talked. You were in pain, but you were still up there giving it 110%. You didn't let that. I
That's
can't
rock
say
and
it didn't
roll,
phase
man.
you. Yeah, I can't say it didn't phase you because I knew you were in pain. But I guarantee you,
That
99% of the people out there that had no idea had no clue that you
No.
just
that
had surgery.
that's the
Yeah.
day that they mutilated my testicles.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to go into details. I was going to leave that up to you.
They sterilized them.
Yeah,
But
we
not only that, and I give it to him. But I don't know if you were there, but Bubba can
I
attest to
was
it.
there.
We did the Gip Town Bike Fest,
Yep.
and he had emergency oral surgery that morning.
Yep. I was there for that too.
And
Yeah, I remember
he
that.
still showed up and did a 4 hour, show,
Yeah.
and I don't think I would have been able to do that.
So that is 100% rock and roll, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
we all do.
I
I
mean,
think one played one time with the ankle. You
Yeah,
your
yeah.
ankle. I played one time with COVID. I was like having a bad time. It was at Leo's, right? Remember that
don't
Lakeland
say that.
Leo's?
You can't.
And
Oh
half
my
these guys get a
god!
splinter and they want to cancel.
Yeah, no, we pushed through it. That time I thought I broke my ankle. They had to carry my gear and all, but show must go on.
Hey, you know what? Respect, man. Respect. And, and again, that's one of the reasons I say, when you're out and you see these guys, go up and thank them. Because, these guys lay it on the line for you every night. Trust me, you don't feel like getting up there every single night that you're playing. There's some days you just had a bad day and you're like,
No.
I know, I've been there. I mean, I can't say it's all the time, but there's those nights, but you still get up there and give it 100%. So, and
Yep.
people don't know what's going on in your personal life. If you had a bad day, if you're having gear issues, which we all do, we all have gear issues. I mean, that's part of playing music, but you still get up and give it hell. But yeah, for having surgery and then especially getting your nads nipped and getting up there and performing like you did, you had my respect that night, my friend. I was like, damn, I'd be
Rock and
home in
roll.
bed with a freaking ice pack on my groin.
No, that's Yoshi.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
It'll
So like I said, respect, 100% respect.
it'll take a natural disaster for him to miss a show. I know that.
Yeah, we try not to cancel. We
Yeah,
hate canceling shows too, so that's why we always try the best. Yeah.
Well, I got to deal with that. Have you guys ever canceled a show?
Twice in 3 years, I
one
think.
was a hurricane, so
Well, yeah,
there was no gas to get to
yeah.
Newport Richie.
To me, that
Yeah.
doesn't even count as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's a natural
Yeah.
disaster.
I think two of the guys you guys were sick. It was a show
Right,
at OCC
right.
a Thursday back night at
That's
OCC.
right.
We canceled.
Yeah. It was one of those I couldn't even move.
Well, and and that happens. Occasionally, bands get sick. People call me, "Hey, one of the guys in the band is sick." Hey, I get it.
It happens.
Get it. I just hate it when they do it the same day.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Yeah,
can't play tonight. You know how hard it is to get a
Oh,
band like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say something about that because at least for me, right, I am very like proactive, trying not to get sick.
Oh yeah.
So I always give it the last, like I want to push it as far as I can to know if I'm gonna be able to do this on Saturday, because I want to do it. It's fun for me, and it pushes me to take care of myself too. So I don't want to cancel.
Well, and and I've learned as I get older, I try to take care of myself. I mean, I take a plethora of vitamins. I take 14 different pills every morning, vitamins. But I have a habit when I do get sick, I work.
Yeah.
Because I grew up old school with my grandfather, who grew up in a depression. If you're sick, you go work, you sweat it out. And I always try to do that. Sometimes it's bit me in the ass, or it's made me actual sicker, but I don't get sick very often, knock on wood. Now watch, I'll
Yeah.
probably end up tomorrow morning, I'll wake up feeling like crap.
Hey, knock on wood. I did the same thing when I was a kid. I play a lot of basketball. So
Mhm.
the basketball court was right in front of my house. So when I felt like I could go outside, I would just go and play basketball for like 2 hours and sweat
Yeah.
it out.
Yep. I mean, obviously I own a business, so I don't really have the opportunity to call the boss and say I'm sick. 'Cause trust me, my boss says, get your ass out of bed and go to work. I mean, there have been a few times. I remember one time I had a really bad ear infection, and I truthfully, it wasn't even safe for me to drive because my balance was so whacked out. But if it's a cold or something like that, work it off, sweat it out.
Yeah.
It's my grandfather talking. So basketball, Nothing personal, but you're not exactly the tallest fella in the world to be out there playing basketball. So you must have some moves.
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, I've been very energetic at everything I do. So
Well, it shows when
Uh,
you're on stage. Trust me.
I
and I
played hard defense and shot well.
and you coach too, right? Don't you coach
Yeah,
basketball? Yeah.
I coached a couple school teams and my daughters. So
Cool.
yeah.
I actually back in the day, one of the girls I was dating, one of many, she had 3 kids, and I coached her sons. I was always a baseball player. I grew up, I played through high school. I played a little semi-pro back in the day, so I ended up coaching little league baseball for a while, and I actually enjoyed it. I mean, at that level, teaching kids, it wasn't about, it's not about winning at that point. It's about teaching fundamentals,
Yeah.
and I always kind of enjoyed that. I thought about getting back into it, but what am I going to do? Take something else on? Nah, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, is there any big news coming up for the Headbang? You got any big plans coming up for the future?
Uh, not that we could say
I get
in
it. Yeah.
public forum, but things are going great. Yeah, I think this year has been full of surprises for us.
Mhm.
Uh, always thankful for it. I think we're all echo that. That things have been moving way better than we expected. All of a sudden we felt this rush of demand that we really hadn't planned for. So, which is a good thing. But it kind of it's a good problem to have. It kind of forces to into a position where we have to say no to certain things,
Mhm.
things that
Yeah,
we'd
trust me,
otherwise
I
would have said.
know.
Yeah, yeah. So and but it's what's keeping us alive, and it's what's opening certain doors. Last year, in the latter part of the year, we stepped out of Tampa finally. We started playing in Orlando, and now we have a very good regular gig up there about 4 times a year, and more of those opportunities are opening. So already looking at 2026 in a very positive way.
Well,
So
like I said, I'm
That
going to be putting your butts on the books in 2026. You will be back at the bottle house then. Don't tell me
and
no, because I'll hog tie you.
it's just, yeah, we just have to let the smoke settle a little bit because, as I said, there's a demand, and I don't mean this in a pretentious way at all. We know where we come from, and it's just, but we've worked hard, together, and some doors have been opening, and we want to secure those before we start
Oh,
booking
absolutely.
everything else.
Well, and for me, I mean, I was there basically when you guys first started off down here, and to watch you guys the way you've progressed over the past 2.5 years, it's almost kind of like a proud papa. So I remember these guys win. See, like I said, and watching you progress over the years. The first night you were there, everybody's like, "Who are these guys?" Well, they don't say that anymore.
Oh,
You guys have
perfect.
done very well for
thanks
yourself. I'm
thanks to
happy
the
for you.
people thanks to the people too that come support live music
Oh,
because
absolutely.
yeah, and they show up and they show up again, and it's really cool because you get to be acquaintances and making some friends too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
With
yeah.
yeah,
relationships. This is
yeah.
really all about relationships. About 3 years ago, I remember I was sitting in my kitchen table looking on band mix at Craigslist, just trying to find bands, and
Hmm.
and and now in retrospect, I didn't think that what I needed to do was just go out and see some local shows and get to meet some people. Because
Yeah.
once
Mm-hmm.
once we all started meeting people, that's when the wheels started moving.
Hmm.
Uh, and there's some people out there that are key and essential to what we do. And I'll give you an example, Mr. Dave Freeman, my other bandmate. That guy does it all. He's headbang sound guy for most of our shows, and then he's singing with me the next day, and he's with Sinner or Fusebox, and people like that.
Final ride. I know.
They're the glue to what we do. And there's many more out there that if we
Well,
didn't have them, this wouldn't happen.
exactly. And I consider David Lee a good friend of mine, and we talk, and he does it because he just loves doing it. But I
Mm-hmm.
told him, I said, you
Yeah,
got to be one of the hardest working guys
yeah, he is.
as far as the music industry that I've ever met. Because
Yep.
he doesn't take any time off.
Yeah,
Yep.
There's not a free night for him on the weekends. He's doing something.
yeah.
Like you said, between sound production, 3 bands that he's in. Yeah,
Mhm.
the guy works his butt off, and he's talented, very talented,
Very.
Yeah.
and
He's
just a
good
good
at
guy.
everything he does. I've never seen David do shitty anything.
Nah,
So
he
No,
doesn't flop.
no. And
No.
he's
David, when you first meet him, he is not the most talkative guy. But once you get to know him, he's just a good guy.
He is.
Yeah.
Just a good
Shout
Yeah,
guy.
out to
he's a good
David.
guy.
That's
And
right.
humble. He's
Shout
a
out to David
humble guy
Lee.
too. Yeah,
David is
he's a
very
humble
humble.
guy. Yeah,
Yes,
it
he
is.
is. Yes, he is. Just good
Everyone
people.
loves David.
You know.
Yeah, I tell him, all the time.
Yeah.
His name comes up on here a lot. And I said, well, how can it not? I mean,
Well, he's
you're
on the video
everywhere.
screen every time you walk on the bottom house.
Yeah, well, and he's everywhere. And again, if he's not playing, he's running sound for somebody.
Yeah,
So
he's doing
yeah,
something.
he gets around.
And he's
And the guy,
it's a good example of the kind of people that are out there.
Yeah.
There are others that we can always call and count on. If they're available, they're going to come help, even
Right.
last minute. Like I said earlier, things happen, and that's why you're only as good as your network. And it's
that
very
is 100% true. Well, I'll tell you what, if you need help, I won't get up and play for you or sing because that's the last thing you want. But anything else you need,
Thank you.
we got your back.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'll get up and play one night, and you'll say, that's not going to happen again. And like I said, I sang one time for my mother, and she bought me a guitar, so I got
No,
Well, then she heard me play guitar and said, well, maybe you ought to be a contractor.
Oh,
So you
man.
guys, I know you guys have a lot going on. You've made some time for doing this. Actually, Yoshi, you just got back. You've been traveling.
Yeah.
You've been on the road a little bit.
I just came back from Ohio. There was this festival called Sonic Temple
Mhm.
in Columbus, and there was Linkin Park, Metallica, Korn, and it was just crazy. Rob
Yeah.
Zombie, 3 Days Grace. So I saw all these bands, and it was an amazing weekend. Just got back. I still feel like I'm tired from it.
Well, I'd be tired for a month. And like I said, you guys have families to take care of too. So,
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep you guys too late tonight. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of tired.
I'm tired too. Yeah.
I am kind of, yeah. It's been the last month. I've been extremely busy at work, and usually I'm kind of the finger pointer,
Mhm.
but here for the last month, I've been just busting my tail physically, and it's catching up with my old butt. I gotta get more vitamin B shots or something.
Yeah.
And besides, I hate to say this, so during the week, my butt's in bed at 9:00. Honestly. In fact, my dog, if I don't go to bed, he goes in before me, and he'll go in and get in bed like, hey, dude, it's time to go to bed. But then again, I get up at 5 or 5:30. So, but I
Yeah,
haven't.
I can't. Yeah, that's
The weekends, I haven't gotten used to the weekends yet. I can't. I'm still up. I get home at 2:30, 3:00, and I'm still up at 6:30 or 7. So yeah, the weekends kind of wear me down a little bit. I got to go back to work to get some sleep.
story of our lives, Dwayne.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. You know what? I consider myself fortunate because I'm there. I'm seeing different bands every weekend. I'm dealing with the people. And it's my job to, for one, make sure the bands are happy, make sure the clientele is happy, make sure the staff is happy. That's my biggest objective, make sure everybody is happy. And I want the Bottle House to be a place where people can come and be happy, feel safe, and enjoy themselves. If I do that every weekend, if everybody comes in there and has a good time and there's no issue and they leave happy, I've done my job. And if the band's happy, as long as everybody's happy, I've done my job. So staying there till 2:30, 3:00 to shake hands, it's worth it.
Yeah, awesome.
Until the next morning when I have to get up, I'm like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. So this weekend, you're gigging this weekend. Anything else
Whiskey
coming
Wings.
up on your agenda for the next couple
We
weeks you want to tout?
have. Yeah, I can. Let me see.
Wait.
By the way, you're the first person that we get questioned a lot. Why the 80s? Like, you guys are young. Why the 80s? So I feel like for the first time someone is not asking that, I feel like, oh wow, that's weird.
Well, I grew up then. I know it. I know it's great music. I don't have to ask.
Okay, that's a great answer. So Saturday we play at Oldsmar at Whiskey Wings. Then the Friday after, I want to Daiquiri Shack. That's Pinellas County.
Mhm.
So, and then Leo's, and then we get our 3rd anniversary at O'Brien's, June 6th. So
O'Brien's Tampa.
O'Brien's Tampa. So we want to announce that one because like you said, like staying together for multiple years is it's not a easy thing.
No, it's
so
not.
we want to celebrate that one, June 6th, again, O'Brien's Tampa, 9 p.m. So.
Good. And yeah, you're right. Staying together, keeping a band together for 3 years, it's not an easy task anymore. It's with you guys, it's 4 guys and you're a family. You're together a lot.
Yeah.
And not everybody gets along 100% all the time. It's impossible. I mean, your brother's your family. You're not going to you're not going to agree on every little thing. You know, sometimes there's little issues, but you all, obviously y'all get along well.
Mm-hmm.
So you work it out.
We fight sometimes.
Sure, of
Yeah.
course. Hell, I get mad at Zeus every now and then.
I fight with Joshi all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It shows on stage because you guys just look like you're just bickering all night long. Yeah, right.
Not that bad.
You guys
Oh,
are up on
man.
stage, everybody's smiling all night long.
We haven't played in like 3 weeks, and it feels like forever.
Go forever. I need to
Uh-oh.
practice. I feel like I need to practice like
We haven't played in this long.
I'll practice over it.
exactly. Shave that beard, man.
Yeah, he'll be
Actually,
on
you're gonna end up looking like Ben here before too long.
Yeah, well, it's not. This is not really conducive to the '80s outfit that we.
Nah, it's not really not. Hey, I
Doesn't
played
fit.
back in the '80s, and seeing my butt in spandex and a ripped up shirt is just not something you want to see anymore.
Yeah, I'm growing my hair a little bit because I was always like that, short hair guy. In the
I know
back,
you were always
so
the clean cut guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see. I've always like cut it before then, so we'll see. It's been like this for a year now, so we'll see if I can, wait a little bit longer and maybe like 2 more years. I think because it's so curly right now.
Yeah, well, I know Juan's trying to catch up with Ben. You want that big long beard like Ben has.
No, the beard's gonna go. This is just being lazy.
Keep the mustache.
No.
Yeah, keep the '70s porn mustache. Come on, keep it.
Nah.
The ladies love the mustache. I mean, you're all like Don Juan's up there anyway. Come on, the girls are swooning all over you.
I don't know about that.
But ladies, these are family guys, so keep it in check. Keep it in check a little bit.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we've been on here for 45 minutes. Typically, I like to keep between that and an hour because some of them with Russ, when I had him on here, it was like 2.5 hours.
Really?
Dang.
And I was like, oh, God. My throat was getting sore from talking too much. And quite honestly, I'd keep you on longer, but I know you guys have a lot going on.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
appreciate
That's
that.
cool.
I was already.
Thanks for doing this, Dwayne. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Thank you for having us, and I say I need to leave in 30 minutes. Thank God, my 2-year-old is still playing with my wife.
Well, I know, and I was looking at the clock. You said 30 minutes. Yeah, so I was trying to push it.
I can't even finish a movie of Netflix. When I'm done with my kid, I go to bed. I'm like 30 minutes after that, I'm done. I'm like,
dude, it takes me a week.
I finish a movie in 3 days.
It takes me a week to watch a movie. It takes me a week because when I sit down and start watching a movie, if I get in the chair, I fall asleep. Literally, if I hit the recliner to watch a movie, within 10 minutes, I'm snoring. Once I sit down in the evening, I'm done. Just done. So I get that. And guess what? You got quite a few more years of doing that, and then you're going to be adding more babies, and you know what's going to happen. And then once you finally get settled in, then you got grandkids. Of course, then they're easier because you can take them when you want them.
Hey, don't fast forward me to that.
It's coming. Trust me. It seems like just 2 years ago, I was 26. Well, trust me, I'm not 26 anymore. So yeah, time flies. That's what I said, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you're doing it. I mean, I have stories that I could tell all night long about my days of playing, but actually we'd have to do it on a different channel because we'd probably get banned from Facebook if I started talking about that kind of stuff. Won't go into those details. But like I said, guys, man, it's a pleasure. I love you guys. I consider you friends. Like I said, it's been great to see the journey that you guys have been on since you started off, where you started at and where you are now. It's been great to sit back and watch it. So it's kind of like the Proud Papa thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
See you soon, Dwayne. Thank you.
Actually, brother, appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
And I will talk to you guys soon.
Have a
Sure.
good night.
Take care of kids and get some rest. Get ready for this weekend.
Thank you, man. Thank
Save
you.
that
Have a
beard.
good night.
You too. Shave that beard. See you guys. All right, there you have it. The guys from the Headbang, great guys. And like I said, it is true. I remember 2.5 years ago, obviously, from talking to them, seeing them come into the bottle house for the first time, and everybody's wondering, who are these guys? And just watching the way they've progressed over the past 2.5 years, it's been great to watch them. And like I said, they're good guys. They come out and support other bands all the time when they're not playing. And, that means a lot. I know it means a lot to the other bands, and it means a lot to me. So that being said, this weekend at the Bottle House on Friday night, we have Sobriety X. we know what that means. It's always a party when Sobriety X hits. And like I said, it's the Geritol tour. It's phase 1 of the Geritol tour. They'll give me shit about that. And then Saturday night, again, we have for the first time at the Bottle House, and I'm going to pull it up here again because my memory sucks. We have Alter Ego hitting the stage Saturday night. Looking forward to that. Again, I've heard some great things about these guys, so definitely get out and check it out. As I tell y'all every weekend, get there early, come early, stay late, and I'll save a seat for you. Until then, we'll see you guys this weekend. Have a good night.